January 16th, 2021, if you can hear. That's what the sky looks like at the moment, like that gray, whatever, but there was a vibration. I was sitting in the dining room just trying to eat something, and it almost sounded like a car, like Lou and Lynn, when the car enters the garage and it zzz, like on the floor above it. And then it cut off, almost like a diesel engine if you like pull the lever. It's actually making the cabinet shake. It's 1:24 p.m. So now it's shaking the cabinets, shaking the house. I asked I mean, there's nothing in it, but I asked yesterday. It's going this way. I asked somebody yesterday, I'm like, have you ever been in an earthquake? In fact, I asked two different people. One said, yeah. One said, no. I'm like, because I've only seen earthquakes on the TV, but it's like they only show them like when it's total devastation and the house is crumbled down. But it's just... like, that's how severe the vibrations are. I mean, I know when I didn't have extrinsic kinesthetic energy and like a paranormal phase going on, I get that, like when I say I have floaters in the back of the eye, I know a lot of people have explained their ophthalmologist has explained to them that like it almost looks like you have these black spots that float, and for me they're not all the time. It's on specific days that they just appear, using my optical equipment, whatever, in order to geospatially like connect my person within the substrate that I'm entangled with in some frequency, whatever. But the fact that it's actually such a, they said, and then I said, Linda brings up the other night, she's like, you know, just installed, the Con Edison just installed something called a smart meter. SMARTMETER. I have no idea what that means. Is that something that's picking up on seismic vibration? Is that something that they can get to on the computer? Just like the Korean restaurant last night where only one restaurant had a flicker in its electrical pattern, but the rest of Main Street or the rest of the boulevard, Bell Boulevard, the electric was conditioned where it was like a steady pattern. So now today, like, I don't know, are they doing tests? And I wouldn't even know what division or what area does these types of tests. There's been no alert to the people, not by television, and not in the mailbox, not door to door. There's been nothing. Just sitting here, having something to eat, and all of a sudden, I thought Lou and Lynn pulled into the garage and were going to walk up the stairs. And then all of a sudden, the garage door didn't go up or down, which was odd. And then there was a length of time, and then it would be like the car engine just shutting off because it stopped vibrating. And then I got up, and all of a sudden it started again. So it's just this weird phenomenon over the last few days that I've been documenting alongside of the other stuff. Because I don't know what, like, how, I don't know the metric of Richter. I hear that it's a Richter scale, like it was 8 something on a Richter scale and it toppled buildings over or whatever on the news. That's the words that the humans use. But in New York, small vibrational or seismic occurrences, I don't know even what sector or industry covers that. I mean, like, that's how poor the education system is. It's like, I don't think NYPD or FDNY know about those things. Those are my go-to sources just because they're the most well advertised in the neighborhood. But there's really nothing else. And then there was like the mom at the park that I asked. But like and I'm like, I even said to her, I'm like, do you know where I would call to see if anybody else felt it or to report that I was experiencing something? She's like, Google it. I'm like, Google? That's how disgusting this parenthood has become. I mean, I'm a parent myself. I don't even know how to give my children answers. My parents were completely useless. And there are other parents in the neighborhood I ask, and they are blissfully unaware of things that I'm stumbling into and need answers for. They themselves are not prepared. And they don't think of it, which I understand that part. But I mean, talk about a system that's been knocked out. It's really frightening. And then on top of it, you have this unrest in the American colonies that my son, I've had sons since 1999. First time I'm hearing about unrest in the American colonies is 2017. And I'm not even quite sure. I see the coastline of where could 13 colonies be. I just don't know how it relates to, like, let's say a business office of some sort. If I have to like do like macro to micro in god to demigod relation for geospatial and geography and being lost in space somewhere in between. It's star 1978. I really do feel like Niklaus is not only the person that I sat to in Dances with Wolves, and I couldn't sit still. I was just so excited that he was there. I just wanted to talk to him throughout the whole movie. It was horrible. I mean, it was great, but it was horrible. But I really do feel like the woman in the tent that like doesn't know how to speak his level of importance. It's horrible. I don't understand why the world would have split us apart this way. For what purpose? I mean, I don't see anything of importance going on. So they split us apart, and now they're up to spinal taps on human persons via the internet and the weather apparatus and machine through some form of portal that they've developed and sold one another like it's normal. With, I don't know who's policing them. Wow, I mean, for us, it's just a waste of 43 genetic years that we could have been happy together. But here we are I really don't get why they pursued these actions. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.